Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. This is not one of my tarot videos, but it is something spiritual based. I was contemplating whether or not I should actually do this video because it's a very personal subject matter, I guess. And it was really hard for me to, for one, experience, but for two, put it into words. But this experience is now, how do I say this? Changing my outer world in very different ways than I thought. And so a little backstory. About, let's say, 3 days ago, I have a normal nightly and morning Kundalini meditation that I usually do. And what I am doing in that meditation is I am transmuting my sexual energy up through the different chakra points, right? And kind of focusing in on, if you want, I could definitely go into how to do this, as it probably would help a lot of people, but I can't really show it on YouTube. But I am raising my sexual energy and transmuting it all the way up through the chakra points into my crown chakra. This time it was different. For some reason, as soon as I got to the crown chakra, for some reason, I was told, I think it was my ego that was telling me to halt at the throat chakra. Right after my heart chakra, it didn't want to go any further, but I almost stopped and just got up and started my day. But this time it was different. I wanted to raise all the way up to my crown. So I did. I kept on going. What happened after that was I guess the only definition is a spontaneous Kundalini activation that I haven't had ever. I've never had this kind of experience during meditation. What happened was, as soon as I got to my crown, it felt like all of my energy, because you could clearly feel the snake of energy rising through your body, rising up through your what's it called, Shishuna passage, right up the spine into your crown. For whatever reason, I had so much energy in my spine that it felt like I completely shattered through the crown chakra and into a totally different realm that I've never experienced before. What happened after that? So first off, I was in meditation, right? What happened after that was it felt like it shattered the top of my skull, just, and whatever energy that I had stored up in my body just went completely skyward, just out. And then I have it written in my journal, but I'm gonna try to do this all through memory. What happened after that was I started to feel like I was high. Like I just took 5 edibles, like I was completely blasted off my gourd, man. Like I was completely sober at this point too. But it felt like my body was vibrating. It felt like my mind was vibrating, and it felt like my soul was vibrating. I could just feel everything. Still eyes closed. And then what I saw after that was colors that I've never seen before. I couldn't describe it to you if I tried. Just everything was super light, like golden white light came into my vision, but that golden white light was surrounded by colors that I've never seen before. It was crazy. But after that, you know, I'm like enjoying this experience, man. After that, I became fully aware of my room that I was in, right? Like I was seeing through my eyelids, if that makes sense. This is all crazy. But I feel like this could help a lot of people right now because I feel like these activations are happening more frequently to people. And people just think they're going crazy or just chalk it up to, you know, imagination or something like that, right? But um, I became fully aware of my surroundings, like every item in my room. I just saw everything, but it wasn't normal. It was like everything had the same shimmer. It was like a shimmer of opalescent colors that I've never seen before. And something told me that I was, quite literally, something told me, not me, not my soul, maybe it was, but something audibly told me that what I was witnessing was the vibration and the energetic signature of everything in my world, right? And then I was looking at the doorway, just kind of like fascinated by all this. This is gonna sound even more crazy. And then that audible noise took form into a slightly humanoid. It was kind of more an auric field of a humanoid than an actual body, you know? So I could see right through this thing. And it was opalescent. And my initial reaction was kind of like, whoa, what am I seeing? But then it didn't really talk. And I am going to name this thing an ether elf. Because it was like, I don't know, about this big, just an auric field, maybe even a fairy, man. I don't know what this thing was. But I'm even laughing right now about it. What it did next, maybe it was to, because I'm in my natural state of everyday being. I am goofy. I like doing goofy things. I just like being goofy, man, right? That is where I feel most home at, is just being goofy. But I think what it was trying to do was calm me down a little bit, because this is an otherworldly experience that I'm having, and anybody would probably think they're going nuts or like, what is this thing? You know, like kind of scared of it. What it did next was did a weird little dance for a few minutes. I don't know why, but I was just laughing and I was saying out loud, like, what are you doing, little man? It was just going like, you know, it was weird. And I loved it. And then it kind of stopped and then pointed outside my bedroom window. And as soon as it did that, I got transported into a field of sorts with a river running through it, same shimmer of weird colors, like opalescent everything. And if I stared hard enough at like maybe a tree or something, I could see right through it, but it was still there. Weirdest experience ever. I have yet to go to this spot. I know where this spot is, and maybe, hey, maybe we could go together today and see what we find. I have a feeling that I've already found what it was trying to show me. And then I kind of came out of it. He kind of left the vicinity of where we were, because he was still there when I got transported there. But the feeling of coming back to body was the worst feeling I've ever felt. Massive amounts of pain, massive amounts of sorrow, of even fear at one point, of just being back in my body. I'm a Pisces, right? And that is one of the key things in life that Pisces need to learn, is to be okay being in their body, We are so connected to the other world. We're like, we have one foot in the door of the physical and then one foot in the door of the ether, if you want to call it that. But this time, the feeling was so intense that I was crying. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just the act of my astral self coming back into my body, or me just becoming more aware of my body, because I was aware of so much other stuff um, in that realm. And to me, it felt like that realm was home, right? And so I went down, told my partner all this. Was like, oh my God, this is weird. And then something clicked that I read before. We are taught, or we have an inherent knowledge of the 7 chakras, right? There are other higher levels of chakras. Think of the 7 chakras as the 7 densities. It doesn't end after the 7th. It repeats in cycle. So the 7th will be 1, but at a higher level of vibration, right? So I have this book right here called Erase Your Vibration by Kyle Gray. And in it, he talks about the higher chakras. And I'm going to read it to you. Many people walking the spiritual pathway have heard of the 7 traditional chakras, but higher chakras are now being rediscovered. I used to work with 3 of these, but since the first edition of this book, another one, the Gaia Gateway, has come to my awareness, so I now work with 4, Earth Star, Soul Star, the Gaia Gateway, and the Stellar Gateway. 2 of these, the Earth Star and Gaia Gateway, are below the feet, and the other 2, the Soul Star and Stellar Gateway, are above the crown. The best way to describe the higher chakras is as portals, for they are energetic gateways between the physical body and the higher dimensions. They can be accessed once the Kundalini has risen through the 7 chakras of the body, and they can help us access the hidden knowledge of both heaven and earth and create a high vibrational way of life that will ultimately be heaven on earth. So I'm going to read you a passage talking about what I believe I experience. As this is just 2 sorry, I'm reading because I'm trying to find the one that I felt most resonant with. All right, I think I found it. So as you remember, I was raising and it felt like I blasted through my crown chakra straight up, right? So the Gaia Gateway and the Earth Star is below the feet. The Stellar Gateway and what's the other one? And the Soul Star, if maybe I said that wrong. The Stellar Gateway and the Soul Star are above your head, so I'm leaning more towards I just experienced the Stellar Gateway. The Stellar Gateway is a gateway of energy held beyond the physical dimension at the center of the universe. On an energetic level, we gain access to it through all of the other chakras. This portal connects us to the energy of creation, which essentially takes all of our intentions from our current life and pre-incarnations and writes them into the creation of our life. So the Stellar Gateway is a higher dimensional space like a vortex that curates our experience upon planet Earth and holds all the information about our existence. It can help us remember our cosmic origin, and it allows us to connect directly with the God particle. This chakra reminds me of the TV show Stargate, for it's like a pool of energy that bridges all of the realms, and through it, instead of knowing about God, we have a direct experience of that presence. I believe that when people who have had a near-death experience recall moving through a tunnel of light, just like I was talking about, they are recalling moving through the stellar gateway, through the wormhole between heaven, earth, and beyond. Accessing the stellar gateway, just like the Gaia gateway, is a spontaneous occurrence based on all of the other spiritual work we do. It is through the raising of our vibration, the alignment of our chakras, and the ascent of our Kundalini that we are given access to information and support that go beyond human comprehension. I believe I just experienced the stellar gateway. And it's super crazy to me what happens, what actually occurs afterwards. So for the next day, my partner and I were struggling. And I don't want to get too into this, but I'm just going to talk from my perspective. It felt like I just experienced home. A home that I've forgotten about, and I was very in distress. I wanted to go back. I have taken dimethyltryptamine before, and it felt like meeting your soul family on the other side and then being projected back into this earthly realm, this experience. And I was more depressed than I've ever felt at one given time. I just wanted to go back. I didn't want any negative in my field. I isolated myself, and I just wanted to be left alone. I cried so much because I felt alone. Like I just witnessed something so beautiful, so pure, and something that felt more real than this, and I got projected back. One thing led to another, and now things in my current reality are shifting very intensely. So much that I am now physically alone. I'm trying not to go into details on the relationship side, but all you need to know is that I was pretty lost last night, right? I didn't even want to make this video. I didn't want to do anything. All I wanted to do was lie in bed. But instead, I started moving things around, shifting my outer world to reflect what I wanted to see on the inside of myself. And I usually do this. If something major happens in my life, I want, if a big change, let's say, happens in my life, I want my outside world to reflect it, and I kind of want to clean out the energies of the old as or so like, if I'm gonna open the door and see what's on the other side, I'm gonna walk through it. I'm not just gonna look, if that makes sense. So I wanted to change my outside world to reflect what I had going on the inside. Something led me to a tarot reading for Pisces. And I don't know if this just happened to every Pisces, but this tarot reading, it felt like it was speaking directly to me. It said, in the beginning of the week, you will have an experience that totally transforms your perception of reality. And through this perception change, your vibration is going to skyrocket. In so doing, we all need to realize when we skyrocket our vibration, when we ascend higher than we've ever thought before, things that are not on that vibrational plane anymore will start to fall away. And if they don't fall away, they will create more resistance and more tension. It will feel like your whole world is collapsing in on itself. And I feel like that's what happened. I felt like I was shown my true purpose of coming back. And in seeing that, I had to let go of any negativity in my life, or else I am not going to reach both the actual home and what I came to this planet to do, and that is to heal people, that is to teach people this kind of stuff, you know, that is to create, like gardening. I like creating outside. I like creating beauty. I like to transform the old into something new with keeping the lessons from the past and the old energies as kind of a reminder of where it came from. So if you've had an experience like this before, please let me know in the comments. That is basically it. Remember, the higher that you go, the more stuff that isn't in resonance with you anymore is going to fall away. And that is to create more and more and more alignment in yourself. And it's okay. I'm here with you. I love you. Please subscribe, as I'm probably going to be doing this a lot more. I'm probably going to get to the actual weekly tarot reading tomorrow, as I'm going to go outside and plant some more plants today. But anyway, I love you guys. I'm with you. You aren't alone. I'm not alone. If anything, I've found myself again. Bye, guys.